Well, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. We're gonna just go ahead and start. We've got a simple, easy, duplicatable system. We're going on to phase 2. Phase 1 was getting all of us on board, all the leaders that are here and the leaders at their home watching this on Ustream Live. Phase 1 was getting us all together, galvanizing a strong team, as my partner Kauri and Jenny would both say, and we've managed to do that in a company like this. So we have galvanized an amazing team. Well, now it's time to run the play, and that's the play that's been working in this company, the duplicatable model. And we're going to show you real quick. We're just going to go ahead and run the video because this is how it works, and it's that easy. So why don't we just go ahead and
you know, I'm going to see if I can share a few words before.
Go ahead.
That's
yeah,
cool.
If Blake will share some words with you.
Cool. My intro, Blake's going to share some words.
All right, Blake, go for it.
Just so you guys know, so everybody in here, obviously, you came down for the same education that everybody that's watching came down, right? So to kind of set the context, I'm going to speak more toward you guys in this room, and just understand that the camera is going to be kind of watching, if that's cool. Because the point is obviously all of us to leave here with the information, the education, to go out there and do something massive. Before we do kick it to the video, like Tim said, and we'll get to that in a minute, I just want to say, guys, I've helped a lot of groups launch within ViSalus. You know, I've been in this industry for 12 years. You know, first half of which as a distributor in the field, second half of which obviously as a founder of a company. You know, we've put hundreds of thousands of promoters right into this organization. You know, we've helped close to 200 people hit the top of our marketing plan. We're at a run rate right now where last month we had 67 plus people hit the top and beyond just last month. So it's kind of at a crazy pace. And I get the perspective because I'm the founder, one of the founders, the CMO. My role beyond working in the office that you guys are in and designing a lot of the tools and the support and the technology and the innovation is to go add fuel to fire on fast-growing groups. Now, I'll be honest with you, normally a group would have already hit the top of a comp plan to attract, say, my attention to come in and be able to say, okay, now that you're already an ambassador, how do we turn you into 10 more, 50 more, right? After you're already making $20,000 a month, how do we take that to 50 or 100 or 150? Does that make sense to you guys? And not out of arrogance, that's just at the, it's just math. 67,000 new people are joining the company, 67 plus are hitting the top. There's only so much time and you got to prioritize your time. So I'll be honest with you guys, this is rare. But when I first met, Tim, and then I met Kauri, and obviously Josh and I have had a long-time relationship, and, Rich Cook, and, some of the new leaders that are coming on board, I know what they had done in the past. They gave me a very strict commitment on what they were going to do here. I believed them, right? Had faith in them. I said, okay, I'm all in. Let's go out there and create a story. So, I'm in this to create something big, to create something fast, and have it be fun. Is that okay with all of you guys?
Yeah.
And that's what excites me. At this stage of the game, it's like you can help anybody. When you can help anybody in this stage of momentum hit the top, you get to pick. You want to do things that haven't been done, right? You want to do things that are first time, right? You want to do things that kind of raise the bar, raise the lid, not only for you guys but really for the company. So that's kind of the premise of this. And to have 3, almost 4 BMWs before our first training, you guys understand this? We've yet to train. We've yet to go over any of the information with anybody. Okay, some of you guys are like, no, I've been waiting for training. I still don't know what I signed up in, which is fine. But I need you guys to understand the power of that. It's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since this all started. And in a week and a half, 2 weeks, to already have 3 officially, 1 almost done, so almost 4 BMWs, to have a dozen or so people at Rising Star, to have close to, Tim's volume is at close to $50,000 in sales, and this is our first training. You guys hear what I just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was joking with me before. He's like, do you know what, my last company, when someone had 50,000, that was like the top of the comp plan, and here we are at that, and we haven't even started, we haven't even trained, we haven't said one thing yet about what we're doing and how we're going to do it. You guys, if that is at all a hint at what's about to happen, that's why you have, and the reason you had, Bob and Joe, and wanted to chime in, is they're a key part of the leadership team. I sat down with these guys and said, look, you want to go big, you want to go fast, let's do something that's never been done. So to recap the goal, to make sure we're on the same page, our goal within this team is to create what's called a 5-star ambassador in the first 45 days. Well, this is the first training. Our technically day 1 was the 15th. So it was last Thursday was when all the apps went in of the system for the very first time. That was day 1 on the reports. And this is the first training we have. So basically between the rest of this month and the end of October, we want to create a 5-star ambassador, which means 1 + 5 is 6 people to the top of a comp plan. That's 6 people that are making multi-6 figures, right, a year in the first full month of business. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in order to do this, think about this. In order to do it, the way it breaks down is it's going to come out to about 50 BMW drivers and above. So, and we'll go through all of this stuff, but you'll hear that number a lot, guys, when the number is 50, 50, 50, because in order for us to do this, the cool thing about this business model is it's not a binary plan. It's the way the compensation works is you have to bring people with you. And there is, if someone's making 20 grand a month, well, then you got a bunch of people making 15, a bunch more making 10, a bunch more making 7, a bunch more making 5, and a whole lot making 2 to 3. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's a team thing, right? So our whole goal during the pre-launch, the last 2 weeks, the only thing we did was we wanted to line up people with business experience. That's all we were looking for. People that had done this industry before or traditional business before. They didn't need a whole lot of training. They could kind of run on a whim for a week and a half without knowing much. And that's what you got. And you got more than that, right? And the people that you saw on here, guys, I mean, you're talking industry leaders. You're talking people that are stepping down from corporate positions. You're talking people, that are the top of compensation plans. I mean, you have a leadership team here, guys, that's second to none. And that's what gets me excited is, I've seen a lot of launches. I don't think I've ever seen a group take off this fast. 50 grand, week and a half before the launch event, 4 BMWs, before the first training. You guys getting the gist here?
Yeah.
That's good. So I hope you guys are excited. I know some of you guys are like, let's get the training so we know what the heck we're doing. So we will get to that. But I want you guys just to make sure you celebrate and you know what all of you are a part of. And the context of tonight is the education portion. So again, I'm going to reiterate what Cowrie said. If you're watching this and you're not already on this team, save your time, okay? Go to overview.visalis.com, just like it sounds. Overview.visalis.com. Your time is better spent watching that 20-minute video to know what the heck we're talking about here. If you're watching this, you're an industry leader. You're someone that needs all the information, the stuff you heard Joe said, a lot of the stuff we went over with these guys. These guys have set up a virtual fly-in website. It's actually on the stream that you're watching. So what's the direct link to it?
VisalisFlyIn.com.
So VisalisFlyIn.com. VisalisFlyIn.com is an extended version. I wouldn't spend my time on that unless you're someone that's been in this industry for 10 plus years and you really need all those answers. For 99% of people, guys, overview.visalis.com. Why spend 2 hours when you get it in 20 minutes? So those are the 2 resources for you guys that are watching that are not already in. Again, you're welcome to hang on. But this is really going to be for people that are already in the system and what the next steps are. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of the context that I wanted to create. And I went over kind of the power of the story, and we'll talk about more of this when we wrap tonight. But the biggest thing, you guys, I'm telling you, it's kind of like the analogy when a space shuttle launches. I don't know if you guys have ever watched a launch of a space shuttle. They say it burns 90% of its fuel on liftoff, okay? Because that's the hard part, is getting that thing out of the atmosphere. It doesn't really need a whole lot of fuel once it's up and out of space. It doesn't need a whole lot of fuel to land. You burn 90% on liftoff. The best strategy when launching, that's why we call this a launch, an organization, is to burn 90% of your fuel on liftoff. You go as hard, as fast as you can, because the power of your story is what you will forever use. That's the funny thing, right? I mean, you will create a story. How many times do you create a story? How many times do you start in a business? Once, right? Your Visalis launch is only going to be one time. You only launch one time. You only have your first month, what? One time, right? You only got one time to go out there and do this. But guess how often you're going to share that story? All the time. For the rest of your career, be it 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, however long you plan on building with this company, we're here for the long haul, you will be telling your story. Now, the question is, do you want to have a good story or a bad story? Yeah. The better the story you have, the easier it becomes from that point forward. Does this make sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
It's the absolute truth. I always tell people that, the faster you do this, the easier it is. And people don't believe me, but I promise you, in this business, the faster you do this, the easier it is. That's it. Because pretty soon, fast forward, right? We come together, and the whole context of tonight's training is to help someone go from 0 to BMW. That's all we're going to talk about. 0, brand new, scratch, 0 to BMW over the next 45 days. Some of you guys faster, okay? So that's all we're talking about. Now, there's probably 100 plus people that are in here and watching all over the place. Okay, how many? We're looking for at least how many? to get to a BMW?
50.
At least how many?
50.
Okay, so we have some insurance here. Hopefully all of you guys pay attention, take good notes, and actually follow instructions. We only need half of you two. Okay, if half of you actually do, okay, we'll have, get this, by the time we're in October at our Atlanta event, end of October, there'll be 50 people within this organization, all making at least a couple grand a month driving a Beamer. Not rich, not wealthy, but how many of you guys know people that an extra couple grand a month would make life a little less stressful? Be honest.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to the big dollars. The big dollars are there, but we're not focused. I'm not here to become a multimillionaire overnight. I'm here to let's help 50 people get an extra couple hundred grand a month in their household, get a black Beamer parked in the driveway the company pays for. Obviously, the people that help those people will be making more, right? Well, a couple of people make 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, maybe some $20,000 a month checks in their first full month. But then we have that story all together at that event. You guys, how easy is it going to be? Yeah, Body by Body Challenge, fastest growing company in direct sales in health right now. Oh, and we're the fastest growing team in our first full month. We helped 50 people qualify for BMWs.
Dang.
Is that a good story?
That's a great story.
That's a good story. Guys, it's an undeniable story. It's an undeniable story. ViSalus, there's two sides of the equation. ViSalus already took care of half the equation, right? It's undeniable, right? I mean, we'll have 80,000 people join this month. We're still averaging 30% to date over where we were last month, and we grew 30% last month. We've grown 25% every month this year. We'll probably have close to 80,000 people join the challenge this month. Okay, we'll probably finish this month at a BMW every hour, 24 hours a day, all across North America. Just this Saturday, we had 1,400 people at an event in Raleigh, 700 people at an event in Kansas City, and 6,000 people at events all across Canada on Saturday, right? So I mean, that story is already there. It's undeniable. Like you heard Bob, 20 plus years in the industry, say, this is the place to be. You got to get the other half of the story. People know ViSalus, but now they got to know your team. Does that make sense?
Yep.
They got to know, okay, why your team, why this team. That's the point. Okay. So I just want to set the context again. I know we've been talking about this for those of you guys that have been on calls, but I know some of you that haven't. You just signed up yesterday. So let's dive in. Any questions, any comments on any of that stuff, just from kind of what we're looking to do as a group before we dive into what we do?
I just like to say that what we're doing is very duplicatable, and the system in place, guys, as you get to see this company and the systems that they provide, it is duplicatable. And as Bob mentioned, if we can find a company where the average person can succeed, you've got gold, and we definitely have that here. So we're really excited about the next 30 days, 60 days, year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Yeah, we're ready to go.
I love it. I agree. I love the fact that we're doing it. You know, there's been a lot of hype in this industry over the last few years, and every company out there right now is a gonna-do company. And I'm just so happy to be with a company that has something that's working. We're not gonna do anything. We're doing it now. This is happening now. And, yeah, I'm excited. So